Hi, I'm Tom Swisher of the Resolution Center in Howard County. I'm an attorney, I'm also a counselor, and I work with folks going through the separation and divorce process. In this segment, I'll talk a little bit about the impact of separation and divorce on children and on the parents that are going through it. For children, one of the most important factors of how they will cope with a separation and divorce is the nature of the relationship between the parents themselves. As you can imagine, parents that are in high conflict with one another tend to produce very stressful environments that get picked up by the children and have some large impacts on the children and how they adapt. There's a book that I recommend to many of my clients called The Good Divorce, written by Constance Ahlers, A-H-L-E-R-S, in which she sort of lays out the different types of relationships between parents, everything from highly conflictual to even friendly and cooperative. And what studies do tend to show us is that couples that tend to be cooperative produce children that are less stressed out, feel better about how the family unit is working, even though it's not an intact, so to speak, family. Another factor for children and how they cope with divorce is their temperament. Most of us are born with certain temperaments. We're either feisty and hard to acclimate to things, or we're easygoing, or we're shy. And so it's important to take into consideration your child's temperament and to prepare the child based on their temperament for the changes in the family system. Still, another factor for how children respond to divorce is their age. Believe it or not, there are some studies that suggest that children that are younger and very young tend to cope better with divorce because it becomes more normalized as they grow up than do children who are in their teens or even college or afterwards. Children in their teens are going through what's known as an identification process, and also, as Erik Erikson, the human development theorist, says, intimacy versus isolation. They're beginning to question their relationships, and specifically romantic relationships with significant others. When parents are going through a disruptive relationship, this can throw kids off in terms of assessing their own position in terms of other significant others. For parents, the impact of divorce, of course, can be very strong, but as we now know, there are some folks that adapt very well, actually even grow as a result of divorce, whereas others struggle quite a bit. I recommend for everyone going through a divorce that you consider individual counseling. I'm a counselor myself, but I know that divorce is one of the most stressful things that a person can go through, right under the death of a loved one. And the paradox about divorce is it is a death in many ways. People lose their identity as a spouse. They may see their family change significantly. And so it brings up a lot of stress and a lot of difficulty. Some folks react to it with depression or isolation, some with anger, some with hurt. And so having an individual counselor who can walk you through the process and be there with you can be a really useful thing. Thanks for watching.